There exists a place beyond time, space, and human perception. A field where every action, thought, emotion, and intention that has ever existed is stored in sacred stillness. This is not science fiction or fantasy. It's the dimension mystics, sages, and spiritual seekers have whispered about for centuries: the Akashic Records. More than a spiritual library, it is the very blueprint of existence. It contains the story of your soul, past, present, and all potential futures. To understand the Akashic Records is to understand the invisible threads connecting everything you've been, everything you are, and everything you are becoming. If this resonates with you, comment below. I reclaim my time and energy and space. Share your experience too. Have you ever felt a moment of deep knowing you couldn't explain? A déjà vu so intense it shook your beliefs? Someone out there may need your story to unlock their own. Welcome, there are truths that survive through whispers, encoded in symbols, songs, and silence. The Akashic Records are one such truth. While the modern world moves faster and faster, pushing us outward, deeper into distraction, the records call us inward, to stillness, to listening. The name Akasha comes from a Sanskrit word meaning ether or spirit. It's the invisible element, the fifth one, that holds the vibration of all other things. In esoteric traditions, it's said that everything is vibration, and within the Akasha, all vibrations leave an imprint. Your first breath, your dreams at night, your soul's contracts, every single energetic footprint remains recorded. Think of it like this. Just as the internet holds vast information accessible to us with the right tools, the Akashic Records are a spiritual internet. But instead of technology, it's accessed through awareness, intention, and alignment. You don't stumble into the records by accident. You rise to their frequency by discipline, humility, and inner quiet. The ancient Egyptians knew of this field. The temple priests spoke of the Hall of Ma'at, where a soul's deeds were weighed. In the East, yogis meditated into trance to receive glimpses of past lives and cosmic truths. And in the West, mystics like Rudolf Steiner and Edgar Cayce tapped into this dimension during deep altered states. What all of them had in common was not a belief, but an experience. The Akashic Records aren't something to be believed in. They are something to be felt, witnessed, and entered. But what makes the records so sacred isn't just their content. It's their relationship with your consciousness. You cannot lie to the records. You cannot pretend or distort. When you enter them, you meet the clearest mirror of your soul. For many, this experience is deeply emotional, both liberating and humbling. Because for the first time, they remember. Not intellectually, but energetically. They remember who they were before the world told them what to be. To access the records, stillness is key. The body must be grounded, the breath deep, and the heart open. Many spiritual teachers recommend entering a meditative state with a clear question or intention. You're not simply seeking information, you're seeking resonance, alignment, and truth. It might come through visions, words, sensations, or just a deep intuitive knowing. But what you receive is always exactly what you are ready to hear. This is not about escaping your life, it's about fully inhabiting it from the perspective of your higher self. The records don't reveal destiny, they reveal possibility. They show you what is probable based on your current path and energy. But with awareness, you can change the script. That is the great secret. The Akashic field doesn't imprison you in fate. It empowers you through choice. Some people expect a mystical thunderclap or divine voice when they try to access the records, but the truth is often quieter. The Akashic field speaks in symbols, synchronicities, and the language of your intuition. It's like tuning into a frequency that has always been present, but you've just never dialed it in. And once you do, everything changes. Patterns you once thought were coincidences begin to reveal deeper meaning. The challenges that once haunted you now appear as lessons. The people you attract, mirrors of your own internal story. The veil starts to lift, and you realize life has been trying to initiate you all along. Let's talk about karma, because the Akashic Records are intricately tied to it, but not in the way mainstream culture presents it. Karma is not punishment, it is memory. It is energy in motion, cycling until acknowledged and transmuted. Within the records, your karmic imprints can be seen clearly. You may find the origin of your deepest fears or recurring obstacles. You may even meet soul connections who have traveled with you through lifetimes, sometimes to love you, sometimes to challenge you, always to evolve you. This is where personal responsibility comes in. Accessing the records is not just for curiosity, it's for transformation. When you see the full story, it becomes impossible to keep blaming others or avoiding your growth. You realize how much of your suffering comes from misunderstanding the contracts your soul agreed to. And yet, within that sobering truth, there's power. Because if your soul agreed to it, your soul also has the power to transcend it. Many spiritual seekers, especially in the modern age, are tempted to outsource their wisdom, seeking endless readings, healers, or teachers. But the Akashic Records remind you that all the answers are already within. Every healer is a mirror, every guide a signpost, but only you can walk the path. The records are not a shortcut to enlightenment. They are a map, etched in light, layered in love, patient and timeless. But even the most perfect map is useless unless the traveler decides to move. And it's not just about your personal journey. The Akashic Records also carry the collective memory of humanity. When accessed with the right intention, they can reveal truths about civilizations lost to time, hidden histories, or future potentials of the earth. Ancient prophets, seers, and sages all drank from this source. That's why their teachings transcend time. They tapped into the eternal. Some spiritual initiates believe that places like Atlantis and Lemuria fell because humanity misused the power of the records. Wisdom without integrity becomes a weapon. This is why the records are protected not by gates, but by vibration. If your heart is not in alignment, the records remain silent. If you seek power over others, you receive distortion instead of clarity. But if you come with humility, service, and truth in your heart, the field opens. This sacred field isn't reserved for a chosen few. It's for all who are ready. And it doesn't matter where you've been, what you've done, or how far you think you've strayed. The records do not judge, they simply reflect. And in their reflection, you remember the part of you that was never lost, the soul that has always been whole. Some have asked, if the records hold all knowledge, can they predict the future? The answer is both yes and no. The records can show probable outcomes, timelines based on your current energy, your intentions, your choices. But the future is not set in stone. It is fluid, ever shifting with each new decision. This is one of the most empowering truths you can realize. You are not bound by fate. You are not imprisoned by your past. You are a co-creator of reality, sculpting your path with every thought, word, and deed. This is where the spiritual warrior awakens, because once you understand how your energetic signature influences the timeline you're on, you begin to take everything more seriously. Your thoughts are no longer just private musings. They are commands to the universe. Your emotions aren't random. They are vibrations shaping your field. And your actions aren't just habits. They are rituals that call certain outcomes into being. The records can affirm this with absolute clarity. Let's get practical for a moment. How can you begin connecting with the Akashic Records today, without needing a guru, a sacred text, or a complex ritual? It starts with stillness. You must learn to quiet the noise, both internal and external. Begin with daily meditation, even just 10 minutes a day. Focus on your breath, your heartbeat, the sensations in your body. The Akashic field is subtle, like a whisper in a storm. It cannot be heard when you're rushing, multitasking, or mentally scattered. Second, cultivate sacred intention. Before each session, speak clearly from your heart. I am here to receive only what is in the highest service of my soul's evolution. May what I see, feel, or hear be used with love and responsibility. Intention is the key that unlocks the gate. Third, write. Journaling is one of the most powerful tools for channeling the records. Set a timer, close your eyes, ask a question, and then let your pen move. Don't judge or edit, just flow. You may be surprised at the insights that appear. This is how the language of your soul begins to resurface. Fourth, protect your energy. The cleaner your field, the clearer your access. That means avoiding people, habits, and environments that pull you out of alignment. What you consume, through your eyes, ears, and mouth, affects your vibration. If you want to access sacred knowledge, become a sacred vessel. Fifth, be patient. The records are eternal. They do not rush. You may not receive visions or revelations on day one, but stay consistent. Over time, the channel strengthens, the trust deepens, and what once felt foreign becomes familiar. Because the truth is, you've been connected all along. You simply forgot how to listen. And this brings us to perhaps the most important reminder of all. The Akashic Records are not separate from you. They are not up there or out there. They are within. You are the living record. Your soul carries it all, every tear, every triumph, every vow, every gift. When you sit in stillness, you're not dialing into a distant database, you're coming home to your own divine memory. So what does it mean to live in alignment with the Akashic Records? It means no longer living reactively, but consciously. No longer asking life to show you a sign, but learning to read the signs that have been there all along. You become aware of patterns, synchronicities, emotional cycles, and energetic signals that others miss. You develop a deeper sense of trust, not in blind faith, but in lived experience. Because you've seen the evidence, you've felt the shifts. You've opened the record of your soul and read the chapters you were never taught to see. And this shift doesn't just change your spiritual life, it changes everything. Relationships evolve because you no longer attract the same wounds. Finances shift because you recognize old scarcity beliefs carried from ancestors or past incarnations. Health improves because you stop resisting the messages of your body. Creativity flourishes because you're no longer creating from fear, but from flow. This is what soul alignment looks like. It's not flashy, it's not always dramatic, but it is powerful, it is freeing. Still, with this power comes responsibility. The more aware you become of the Akashic realm, the more accountable you must be for your energy, your choices, your intentions. The records are not a shortcut or a cheat code. They are a sacred relationship. And like all relationships, they flourish with respect, consistency, and care. The final key is devotion. Not religious ritual, but soulful devotion. Treat your inner world as sacred. Speak to your soul as you would to a beloved. Make space in your day, not just for productivity or consumption, but for remembrance. Light a candle. Breathe deeply, ask questions, and then listen, not just with your ears, but with your spirit. You don't need permission. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be present.
Because you are not here by accident. Your awakening, your questions, your thirst for truth, it's all part of a deeper remembering. You're not just learning new things. You're recalling ancient wisdom already etched into your being. You've walked these roads before. And now, you're being asked to walk them with conscious feet. So let this be your sign. This message found you because you're ready. Ready to tune into the higher frequency that has always been guiding you. Ready to reclaim your time, your energy, and your space. If this message stirred something in you, drop a comment below saying, "I reclaim my time and energy and space." And if you've had any experiences with synchronicities, inner knowings, or Akashic insights, share them below. Your voice might be exactly what someone else needs right now. You are not lost. You are being found, by yourself. And the records? They are open. Waiting. Whispering. Not just to you, but through you. Because you are the living page, and the pen has always been in your hand. The rest of the story? You're writing it now.